ISIS continues on its barbaric mission and beheads British hostage Alan Henning, and now poses a 26-year-old American on his knees. Meanwhile, add former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta to those who hold President Obama's feckless foreign Middle East policy responsible for the mess that we're in. With me now, former Deputy National Security Advisor, Ambassador James Jeffrey. Good evening, Ambassador. Another Brit beheaded, an American up next. Are these airstrikes doing any good?
Judge, first of all, it's good to be back. Compared to where we were in June when ISIS surged across Iraq, the administration and the international community has done an extraordinarily large amount of actions, bombings, diplomatic stuff since that time. But nonetheless, I don't think it's enough right now to push these guys back. We essentially are in a containment phase, and even that isn't working in the Kurdish town of Kobani and in parts of Anbar province west of Baghdad. They're still on the march, and they have to be stopped, and they have to be pushed back.
Well, what else needs to be done? I mean, you know, we've got these airstrikes, and we now have this new coalition. They say Turkey is now, you know, in with us. And, you know, will Turkey's entry make a difference?
It sure will. All of these steps are important, necessary, but not sufficient. Lieutenant General Dave DePtula, a retired Air Force general whom I know well and was responsible for the first Gulf War air campaign, said that what we need is a thunderstorm, not a drizzle of bombs. When Saddam hit the town of Kafshi across the Saudi border during the first Gulf War, we put 267 strikes in 3 days. In the Kurdish citadel of Kobani, in the past week or so, we've put in, I think, less than a dozen. We need to do a lot more very quickly, even to stop these guys. And to roll them back, it's going to take more than airstrikes.
And obviously, I'm sure you think that you need people, you know, on the ground. There's no question. Will Turkey put troops on the ground?
Turkey is talking on those lines, but we have to wait and see. The Turkish population and the Turkish government, and I spent 9 years in Turkey, are very reluctant to go across borders. They're very concerned about mission creep, just as we are. But they are talking about an international no-fly zone over northern Syria, and the possibility of Turkish troops moving in part to protect the Kurdish town of Kobani under that no-fly zone umbrella. So that's quite possible.
Okay, let's talk about Iran here for a moment. There's talk of, you know, getting Iran to join us. Why would we give any concessions on nuclear proliferation to Iran, which is supposedly already an enemy of ISIS? So why would we give them any kind of concession?
I can't answer that question because I would argue against it. First of all, we shouldn't get a nuclear agreement with them if we don't have a major rollback of their nuclear programs, and that's still in the cards, frankly. Secondly, there's not very much they can do to contribute to the current campaign against ISIS. If they were to try to contribute, and it's hard to see what they would contribute, the Sunni Arab states in Turkey would immediately turn against us, and we need them a lot more than we need Iran. Iran, in many respects, has much the same philosophy under different conditions as ISIS. They're part of the problem in the Middle East, not the solution, Judge.
And you know, I just don't understand, Ambassador, how anybody can think that Iran is going to take our side as opposed to another Arab country, another Muslim group. It just makes no sense to me.
Iran, once again, is a bitter enemy of ISIS because that's a Sunni Arab Sunni extremist group that is dedicated to slaughtering Shia Muslims, including the Iranian population. But the question is, what kind of a Middle East do the Iranians want? It's not a Middle East that we can sign up to. It's not a Middle East that our allies can sign up to. So therefore, we need to rule this out. We need to bury this.
All right, Ambassador Jeffrey, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. A few weeks back, we watched the Yazidis fleeing to the mountains, and there was even talk of some people throwing their children over so as not to be kidnapped by ISIS terrorists. With me now, Middle East expert and founder of Act for America, Brigade Gabriel, and my friend. All right, Brigade, we've got another problem. We've got another beheading, another American lined up. But even worse, there are some teenage girls who escaped from ISIS who are now speaking out. What are they saying about how they were treated when they were kidnapped by ISIS? Although, by the way, nothing could be worse than a beheading. I misspoke there.
They are talking of horrific stories of treatment of torture and rape and abuse and starvation. 3 girls escaped. 2 were friends captured in one home. The other one was in a separate home, but they all have the same account. 1 girl was raped up to 6 times a day and then tortured. The 3 girls report that they were given only 1 meal a day. Their treatment was so bad that one of them said one time her capture, which actually she was given to him as a gift, he didn't capture her. She said he would even drew blood out of her, a needle where she would faint and feel very nauseous. This is the type of torture that they went through. Things were so bad that one of the girls tried to commit suicide. 1 girl hung herself. The others said that those who tried to hang themselves, if they were found by the ISIS fighters, they were beaten, and that discouraged the other girls from even committing suicide. It's heart-wrenching to read their stories.
Is there no end to this group's brutality? Are there psychopaths, sociopaths? What are they?
This is how they are treating these girls, because they consider them infidels and rewards of war. So they are being sold as slaves. Their prices ranging between $100 to $1,000. They are being given as gifts because, again, they are the property of their captors. They are the booty of war. So in ISIS's mind, as they expand their territories, we're going to hear more of these stories. And this is why it becomes vital, Judge, that our government puts pressure on the surrounding countries to come to the aid of those minorities in the Middle East and try to protect the minorities in that region, because let's face it, the minorities are being abused in such a horrible way, whether they are Christians, whether they are Yazidis or any other religion, and they need our help.
Well, if they're being beaten to try to prevent them from trying to commit suicide, as you say 1 girl actually did, how is it that one of these girls was able to get out so that she could tell us this story?
The girls that were able to escape, 2 girls were kept in one home, and their capture went to the Friday prayer in the mosque. So they used the knife to break the lock, and then they found 2 Islamic garb, 2 hijabs in the home. They put them on and they ran out. They had actually called someone to meet them, and they were able to meet with him. The other girl that escaped was actually a mother.
Excuse me, how did they get a hold of a knife?
I'm not sure. They didn't say, they didn't go into the details. They just said they were able to break a lock using a knife and meat cleaver in order to escape by breaking the lock and escaping. So I do not know any more details other than that. The other lady who had actually a child, she had an 18-month-old with her, and she needed water for her child, who couldn't stop crying. She knocked on the door trying to get the guard to bring her water. She didn't hear anything. She finally broke the door and got out and realized there was nobody there. So, and 1 guy was asleep, so she just grabbed her baby and ran out.
Good, good. Brigitte Gabriel, Act for America. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right.